We have a pope. The new Holy Father has chosen a name that echoes through centuries of history, Leo XIV. Who is Robert Francis Prevost really? What does this election mean for the Church? Continuity with Bergoglio or a return to tradition? The answers will surprise you. Watch the full video to understand every aspect of this new pontiff. With the ascension of Robert Francis Prevost to the chair of St. Peter, the Catholic Church is heading towards a pontificate characterized by reserve and moderation, though not without its questions. Little known by the media, but an important figure in church circles, Prevost comes to the papal throne with extensive experience and a background that combines pastoral activity, administration, and mission work. His election, without much fanfare, has sparked interest among bishops, theologians, and analysts of the Catholic world. From the very beginning, there are voices recalling controversial episodes from his past responsibilities in management and decision-making. At the same time, many see him as a choice for continuity with Pope Francis's approach, in terms of style, feeling, and church priorities. A direction that could ensure stability, but that runs the risk of increasing existing tensions in large parts of the Church. The question now isn't just where he will steer the ship, but how he will do it, with the transparency that modern times demand, or with the ambiguity that has sometimes characterized past administrations. Robert Francis Prevost was born in 1955 in Illinois, United States. His training took place in the Order of St. Augustine, where he eventually served as prior general for 2 consecutive terms. A measured, thoughtful man with rigorous intellectual discipline, Prevost is known for a style away from the public spotlight, preferring quiet, institutional work. It is precisely this attitude that leads him over time to take on increasingly significant roles. Missionary in Peru, then Bishop of Chiclayo, finally appointed by Pope Francis as prefect of the dicastery for bishops, one of the most delicate functions in the Roman Curia, since it involves the selection and appointment of diocesan pastors worldwide. Prevost's career was built in the shadows of power, not in the media spotlight. Loyal to Pope Francis's vision from the start, he has been considered one of the architects of the new episcopal map. This new map focuses on careful pastoral guidance, a presence in the outer reaches of the Church, and bishops who are less focused on their own identity. But this very approach, so appreciated within the Vatican, has begun to raise eyebrows elsewhere. Is this a method of governing or of managing, of spiritual guidance or of internal politics? His journey, now crowned with the invisible tiara of the papacy, tells a story of constant loyalty to the Roman model, but it remains to be seen whether that loyalty is to the eternal Church or to the power structure that embodies it. In his first message as pontiff, Leo XIV immediately outlined the direction he intends to give to the papacy. "I want a synodal church, one that listens, one that proceeds with everyone." A statement that confirms the continuity with Pope Francis's pastoral approach and raises questions about the future balance between shared responsibility and authority. His pastoral work has always been distinguished by a moderate, almost neutral tone, avoiding ideological polarization and maintaining a line consistent with the pastoral rather than doctrinal vision inaugurated by Pope Francis. He is promoted, as prefect of the dicastery for bishops, church figures who stand out more for their administrative balance than for their theological firmness. Bishops talking, listening, close to the people, but rarely prophets. And this also seems to be the key to his vision. A church able to not offend, to not expose itself, to not lose its balance, a caution that reassures many and disturbs others. In the debate about family, bioethics, Catholic identity, and liturgy, Prevost has left few public footprints. A conscious decision, a strategic caution, or the expression of a church that favors silence over proclamation. For his defenders, this shows a man who avoids the spotlight to serve unity. For his critics, it's a sign of a leader who doesn't take a stand, leaving the flock to doctrinal confusion. A conscious decision, a strategic caution, or the expression of a church that favors silence over proclamation? For his defenders, this is the demonstration of a man who avoids the spotlight to serve unity. For his critics, it's the sign of a leader who doesn't take a stand, abandoning the flock to doctrinal disorder. Among the most troubling aspects of Robert Francis Prevost's rise to the papal throne are some past decisions that are now resurfacing with a vengeance. When he was the provincial superior of the Augustinians in Chicago, Prevost allowed a priest involved in abuse allegations to live in a convent near a school. The handling of the situation was secretive, and many now consider that decision unwise and not very transparent. Later, in his role as a Vatican prefect, he wasn't known for taking strong action on the issue. Critical observers speak of an overly bureaucratic approach that has favored silence over clarity. At a time when the Church urgently needs truth and transparency, these shadows weigh on the profile of the one who is now called to lead it. Robert Francis Prevost is not a media-savvy pope. He doesn't like the spotlight, he doesn't look for applause, his style is one of curial sobriety. Calm tones, measured words, restrained gestures, a way of communicating that reflects his institutional trajectory and the reserved character that has accompanied him throughout his entire career. There's no trace of theatricality, nor of ostentatious emotion. His strength, if any, lies in discretion. Robert Francis Prevost's papacy begins with a sense of urgency. The deadlines are already set, and the new pope must address them without delay. The first task will be the appointment of the heads of the dicasteries, key positions left vacant with the end of the previous papacy. The decision of whom to confirm or replace will reveal much about his approach, quiet continuity or discontinuity masked with prudence. In addition, there is the trip to Turkey, planned for the celebration of the anniversary of the Council of Nicaea, a delicate moment, especially in terms of ecumenical relations and geopolitics, which will require vision and firmness. Also awaiting is the canonization of Carlo Acutis, postponed in previous months, a popular figure, loved by young people, who could become the emblem of a new generation of saints, a decision that will also carry symbolic and communicative weight. Finally, the management of the ongoing Jubilee, which began under uncertainty. The new pope will be called upon to give it tone, meaning, and spiritual direction, a dense agenda loaded with unresolved issues. And upon each of these matters now watchful eyes will fall, silence and caution will no longer be enough. What did you think? If you liked the video, comment Amen. God bless you.